Good morning, Fit Family. So it's Saturday morning here, and I like to make a big breakfast that is healthy but delicious. So today we're going to make our family favorite breakfast tacos. And right now I'm chopping up some red bell pepper. So for this video, I'm just going to show you what you need for one serving so nobody gets confused. And I like this breakfast taco because it's savory, it's delicious, and it keeps you full. It keeps you full until lunch, and it's only about 200 calories. And I'll post all the nutrient information in the comments so you guys have that for sure. So I chop up my bell peppers pretty small because that way my kids are more likely to eat them, even if they eat one just by accident. And I have these little bowls right here. I got these from Walmart. They're very affordable. And they're nice looking and they match anything. So I really love these little white bowls. It's great for, we like to do a lot of things like a baked potato bar or a taco bar or an ice cream bar. We do a lot of stuff like that. And so these bowls are perfect for that. Like I said, you don't have to take this extra step of chopping. I just like my bell pepper really small. Oh, we got one. I did have some helpers in here, but I don't know where they went, but they might come back. I highly suggest whenever you're cooking something new or something with a lot of vegetables in it, that you cook it with your family. If I bring my kids in here to help me cook their meal, they're more likely to at least taste it. And I don't force them to like anything. I do ask them to taste everything. And my older kids, no problem. They'll taste whatever, they don't care. My younger kids don't trust me yet. So if I ask them to taste something that's really, really good, they just kind of give me the side eye. But if they're in here cooking it or assisting, then because they're so proud of their hard work, then I find more often than not, they'll at least take a bite. And they have found a lot of foods that they like by doing that. My youngest daughter is 6, and when she was about 4, I had her in here helping me make chili once. And she just like dumped in the beans and helped stir. And because of that, she tasted it, and now she loves chili. And there's no way I would have ever been able to get her to eat it before that, if it wasn't for that. And kind of the same thing, like one time I asked her to help me make a pot of beans, and while doing that, she tasted them and loved them. So she's picky. There's some things that she doesn't like, but we're finding a lot of things that she does like, so that's okay that she's picky about some stuff. I would say for the most part, she eats pretty healthy. So that's good. I have a lot of parents tell me all the time in my gym that they can't get their kids to eat what they're eating on their meal plan. And that's common. But don't let your kids be the boss either of what you guys eat. You guys are the ones that are going grocery shopping, not them. And they will eventually be hungry enough to start being less picky. But I also don't believe in forcing them to eat things they don't like. So what I suggest to all my moms is to take the kids to the grocery store and ask them to pick out one fruit and one vegetable that they think they might like. By doing that, you are giving them the chance to pick a healthy snack. And when they feel like they have more control, they're more likely to eat healthier with you. And maybe they won't like a lot of stuff, and that's fine. My oldest son, for the longest time, the only fruit that he would eat was grapes and the only vegetable he would eat was romaine lettuce leaves, and not with dressing. He hated it with dressing. He just wanted to eat them plain. It's not an ideal vegetable for them to eat, but it's better than nothing. And so every day, was he having grapes and lettuce for snack or with dinner? Yes, absolutely. But it's better than chicken nuggets and chips, right? So don't feel like you have to add so much variety to their diet, because kids are very simple and they're creatures of habit. I'm sure a lot of you guys know that. You know, if your kid just wants to eat the same thing every day for breakfast, that's your indicator that they don't need variety, as much variety as we do. So just find 1 or 2 things that they like and incorporate into their diet every day until they're ready to try something new, or they've decided they're tired of that, and then encourage them to try something new. Also, children are allowed a lot more calories than we are, so they can eat a lot of high-fat foods that maybe wouldn't be considered healthy for our diet, but would definitely be considered healthy for their diet. So when I'm cooking their foods, I cook their foods in a lot of coconut oil, or I'll add some butter to their foods. They get a lot more grains in their meals than I do. So if your kids really love potatoes and rice, that's okay. For dinner tonight, we are making eggplant manicotti, and I make mine with the eggplant and I make theirs with the pasta. So that way the dinner's not too different, but it provides them with something they're gonna like better than the eggplant rolls. I hope all that is making sense. Do you guys like watching people chop vegetables? I think it's kind of therapeutic. I love watching people chop vegetables, like on the cooking channel, but I am not very therapeutic when it comes to my chopping. So if this is annoying you, just fast forward to see what we're doing next. So that's as many onions as I'm gonna chop, because not very many of us like onions. I like onions, my husband likes onions, and so do my sons, but my daughters do not. So I'm just leaving a bowl like this. So this is how much bell pepper I chopped, and this is how much onion I chopped. And then for my garlic cloves, what I'm gonna do is just pop a couple of these in my garlic press for later. I'm just gonna go ahead and set them up to the side. I'm gonna put my onions over here and then bag those up later. I'll use those for tonight's dinner. I love cilantro, but not everybody does, so this is definitely an optional topping for your breakfast taco. This isn't something we would have for breakfast Monday through Friday, because like the rest of the world, we are pretty busy during the week, and it feels like we're always in a hurry running out the door. For weekdays, if I want to make sure I have healthy breakfast on hand, I do the oatmeal packs, and sometimes I just make my own. It's so much cheaper to make your own. You just get a big tub of oatmeal and you spoon out equal servings into little plastic baggies with a little bit of brown sugar or pecans. Then they can just add that to a bowl with some hot water. I also like to keep a bowl of, no, not a bowl. I like to keep a carton of boiled eggs in my fridge. All my kids love boiled eggs, and it's something fast. I like boiled eggs as well. I hate peeling them, so I actually don't find myself eating them that often, but I always cook them. You definitely don't need this much cilantro, depending on who's all going to eat it. But because I'm going to also have this for my lunch, I'm going ahead and chopping up a bunch and adding it to my bowl. Okay, so that's it for the prep work. I'm just going to go over to the stove and start sauteing my bell pepper and my... Okay, so I just got done chopping up my bell pepper and my onion, and I have them set aside in these little bowls, but I'm just going to show you what you need to make one serving instead of what I would make my family of 6. So in my nonstick pan that has been heating on medium, I'm just going to spray a little bit of this, spray olive oil in it, not too much, just a little. And then I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of chopped red bell pepper and about 2 tablespoons of chopped red onion. And I just grab, you know, a little bit and stick it in there. I'm going to stir that around until it's slightly browned. Okay, so my peppers and onions are slightly brown, so I turned my heat on low, and now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of mild diced green chilies, and I leave the juice in here. And you can add more or less depending on your taste. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of taco seasoning, and we just make our own taco seasoning, but you can buy like the gluten-free McCormick or whatever you like. And then I'm going to press in 1 or 2 cloves of garlic. So that didn't give me too much garlic, so I'm actually going to go ahead and press in 1 more because I like a lot of garlic. Okay, and then I'm going to stir this around about 1 minute. Maybe not even that long, maybe 30 seconds. Okay, so after this has cooked a little bit, maybe 30 seconds to a minute, then I'm going to add it to a bowl of quartered cherry tomatoes. I put about 5 chopped cherry tomatoes in this bowl. Now I'm just going to go clean my pan out real quick, and I'm going to start making my eggs. Okay, so I cleaned my pan out real quick, and I just added some whipped butter. I added about 1 teaspoon. If you're on a strict diet, definitely make sure that you weigh that or measure that and don't eyeball it. After it starts to melt, I'm going to swirl it around my pan, and then I'm going to crack 2 farm fresh cage-free eggs. Okay, my butter is nice and melted, so now I'm going to crack in my eggs. I have my heat set to just a little above medium. I don't want to say medium high because it's really not that in the middle of medium high. It's just slightly above medium. So while my eggs are cooking, I am actually going to be busy preparing some other things. So I'm just going to put a lid on top of my eggs instead of having to worry about flipping them. So I'm going to move my heat down to just below medium, so close to medium low, but closer to medium. That way I don't have to worry about standing over them and flipping them. Okay, so now my eggs are done, and I'm going to transfer them to a plate. Actually, I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper first. Okay, perfect. Now in this pan with my butter in it. You might need to add a teaspoon more, but because I cooked these pretty low, I'm not going to. I'm just going to add these 2 street style white corn tortilla shells. If you can't find the street style at your grocery store, the one regular 6-inch white corn tortilla will be fine as well. So I'm going to actually bump my heat up to medium high. I'm going to cook each side about 2 minutes. Okay, so it looks like my tortillas are close to being flipped, so I'm going to go ahead and flip them. They're just a tad bit brown. I don't know if you can see that. And I'm going to cook them for another 2 minutes on this side. This side usually will cook faster than the first side. While you guys are waiting for everything to cook, while you're waiting for your eggs or your tortillas or your sauteed vegetables, I use that time to get other things done. So while I'm waiting for my eggs to cook, I will go ahead and clean up real quick. While I was waiting for these to cook, I went ahead and ran a sink full of soapy water so I can just wash up my dishes really fast. I have to cook and prep my food all the time in order to stay in good shape. So that is the best thing I've ever done or decided to start doing, was to clean as I wait, because you'll be surprised at how much you can get done in just 2 minutes while you're waiting for your food to cook. Don't go sit down, don't go play on your phone. Use that time to be productive. I highly suggest it. All right, so it looks like my tortillas are done. So now I'm just gonna put them on a plate and start building my breakfast to start. So over here I have my eggs. I'm just gonna adjust my camera a little so I can't see what I'm doing. And I'm gonna add my 2 little corn tortillas. I have a can of fat-free refried beans. I'm just gonna take a little scoop and spread this on one of my corn tortillas. So if you don't like the egg yolks, then, and you wanna be a little less, you wanna have a little less carbs in your breakfast, then you can use some, I use these little guacamole minis. Make sure you get the guacamole minis and not the avocado minis. They have a little bit more flavor. Sometimes I use fresh avocado, but you can't, they're never ready when I need them. So I always like to have these on hand. So for one of these, I will go ahead and just use a scoop of my guac and spread that on there. I don't always use this just because I do like my egg yolk, and with me cooking my eggs and my tortillas in the butter, that provides me plenty of fat, and there's more calories per gram of fat. So I wouldn't typically do this, but for today, for the video, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So then I'm also going to add my tomatoes, peppers, and onions that I had cooked up earlier. This makes a really delicious little fresh sauce. And I know my husband and my kids don't typically like their sauce chunky like this, and because it's a Saturday and we're not in a hurry to go anywhere or do anything, sometimes I will just pop all of this into a Vitamix or a Ninja, whatever you have. It literally only takes a few seconds, and it makes more of a paste, and they're more likely to eat it. The flavor is still there, it's just not chunky bits of vegetables. So then after that, I'll go ahead and place my egg on top of my tostada. It's delicious. And I'll sprinkle each one with a little bit of cilantro. And sometimes I like mine a little more zesty, so I'll add a little lime juice on top. Okay, how does that look? Does it look good? We're just going to kind of cut into the yolk and let that yolk kind of run down and blend in with our sauces. Okay, I'm gonna go eat this. I hope you guys make it and I hope you enjoy it. If you make it, comment down below how you liked it. Thanks for watching.